Good morning, friends and fellow traders. This is Doug Campbell with Right Way Options, and this is the morning market preparation video for April 24th, 2018. So yesterday we had really insipid price action. And what I mean by insipid, the definition really of insipid is just no vigor. It had no energy to really get moving. And so we just kind of borrowed the energy of Apple and the selling pressure in Apple to drift lower. I got the sense that the market really didn't want to go lower, but it just kind of slipped lower just on that pressure as Apple continued to sell off. And the good news is, whether it's insipid or not, or whether I get the sense of the market wanting to go higher, none of that matters. What matters is the technical patterns here. And what we've done so far is we've held on to this downtrend line, just barely, but we've held on to it. Now, this could serve a couple different purposes. First, we are still below the 50-day moving average. And that 50-day moving average is being attacked this morning by this big bullish move in the pre-market here. Now, the question is, can we push through it and hold above it as support and get that bulls inspired to push for a new attack higher? Or will those bears be inspired? Because if we rally up to the 50-day moving average and fail to break through, that could easily inspire those bears to come in. So we're kind of at that decision point. Which way are we going to go? Right now, I kind of lean toward the bulls. That everything is looking pretty good at the moment. And if we look at the moving averages here, we have a fairly nice grouping of averages all in one place, providing a little bit of support here. So if we can bounce off of that and hold, get back above that 50-day moving average, we have a shot of maybe attacking some of these upper levels in the market. Let's take a look here at the SPY. The SPY doing very much the same thing. Pulling back, holding this downtrend line. Now, again, I want to point out that this downtrend could really be marked up here. I chose to do it here because it works very well in conjunction with this price support of this little platform, and also works very well with our 50-day moving average. If we put price back on that chart, you're going to see that we are attacking that 50-day moving average this morning on this gap up. So we need some follow-through buying this morning. We need those bulls to really be inspired, squeeze out some of those short traders to move us higher. Let's take a quick look at the Qs. Qs, less inspiration here. We've got a little more trouble going on here in the Qs with those techs being so challenge right now with the selling that came in Apple. Apple constitutes a really big weighting in the NASDAQ. About 10% of the NASDAQ is weighted on Apple. And when Apple gets sick, the NASDAQ's going to have trouble. And there seems to be a little bit of illness there in Apple. And so we need those bulls to really push back. Now, there's a lot of tech earnings coming out over the next few days. So keep that in mind. If those earnings come in good, we could counteract some of that move in Apple and push back. All right. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If they happen to come in poorly, though, be careful. The tech sector could be the inspiration for the bears to launch a full-on attack, driving all the markets lower. So we're going to have to watch that fairly closely and remain flexible. Remember, markets are very, they're very changeable around earnings dates. I mean, we can be completely inspired on the bullish side and get a couple of bad reports and reverse in a heartbeat. So we have to remain flexible. We have to stay very focused to price action here and make sure that we're managing the risk that we have in our portfolios. IWM has served as the strongest index here recently, holding above its 50-day moving average, holding above this important support by the close yesterday, and then this morning also it wants to try and push higher with a gap up open. So with that, let's hope we see those bulls be inspired today. A little bit of follow through after the morning pop. We don't want to see the morning pop and then the sellers just take over. We want to see that morning pop, and we want to see bulls stepping in, pushing to that upper, to that higher side, push. So that follow through this morning is going to be really, really important. Let's take a look at the VIX. Now, I think it's fairly good news that the VIX, even though we saw some selling yesterday in the market, the VIX actually pulled back, that there was a little bit less fear in that selling yesterday. Like I said, we were just kind of insipid. There was no vigor one way or the other. Well, that seemed to prevent that fear from rising yesterday and actually allowed it to pull back a little bit, holding about the same place of where it opened, but did not really get going yesterday. So fear kind of stays, at least it's borderline. It's right here on this price support. It's somewhat in check, but it could certainly get inspired really quickly to go higher. So we need to see those bulls push in here and push that back down below that support and really start banging some of that fear out of the market. Let's take a quick look at T21.22. T21.22, 4-week new high, new low ratio. And you can see we did turn up a little bit, even though there was some selling yesterday, had a little bit of a turn up yesterday. And this morning, that will continue to push, at least at the open, looks like that will push higher. So we have some room now to the upside to move in the T21.22, suggesting that we could see a substantial rally if those bulls are so inspired. So there is room to move up here. Let's go back and take a look at, click the wrong button there. Take a look at the economic calendar. Today we have several things on the economic calendar that could move the market around a little bit. We have the Case-Shiller number. The Case-Shiller number is expected to pull back just a little bit, but stay relatively strong. The biggest news of the day is going to be this new home sales number. New home sales have remained very, very strong, and I think consensus is kind of expecting it to stay relatively flat, maybe a light pullback. We don't want to see a massive pullback here, but a light pullback would be okay, and the market would likely be okay with that. Consumer confidence remains incredibly strong, and consensus is suggesting that consumer confidence will slip back just a tiny little bit, but still remain up near these expansion highs. Really, really strong. After that, we've got a couple outside reports that aren't expected to move the market. You know, the State Street Investor Confidence and the Richmond Fed Index. And then there's 3 bond auctions today. So after we get through these major reports this morning, not much else going on to likely move the market. The big story of the day is the about 170 companies reporting earnings today, and they're going to continue to come in pretty rapid as the day goes along. And there is a large number of earnings that will come in after the bell today. So the market could see, you know, after a gap up and move, could see a little bit of choppy price action. We've just been really watching and waiting for these earnings, I guess. And if we don't get that follow through buying this morning, it could wait until this afternoon we start getting those other earnings coming in. Keep in mind that tomorrow earnings reports will ramp up even more, almost double tomorrow what we had today. And then on Thursday, we double again. to over 400 earnings reports on Thursday. It's just going to be a big wave of earnings, and a lot of emotion could crop up in the market. So be careful with that. So folks, right now we're looking at bullish inspiration to push higher. Let's hope we break through those 50-day moving averages and get up there and hold. And with that, I want to wish you all a very profitable day. And I hope you find these videos helpful, where I try to remove any kind of bias. I'm just trying to look at the charts themselves and see what the chart is telling us. So we're kind of both-sided right here. We're getting bullish inspiration this morning, but we're still below that 50-day moving average. We have some work to do. So remain flexible and be really focused in price action. Folks, if this is the first time you've seen this information and think this could be helpful to you, please do me a favor and click that subscribe button on YouTube and the follow me button on Facebook. For everyone, please click those thumbs up buttons if you feel that this video is worthy of that. Drop a comment. You guys have been incredibly kind. I really do appreciate it. And always feel free to share this video with any friends or family that you think might benefit from this information. Take care. Have an awesome day. I wish you all great success, and I will talk to you all very soon, bright and early, Wednesday morning. Have a good one.